super excited to be here with you guys as always on Saturdays. We always do Separation Saturday calls to basically give you an insight into something that we are learning, me and Phemy, my co-host as well. Something that we're learning this week, something that we've been studying, maybe something that somebody in the group has brought as something that they've been learning, and kind of bring it to the group and kind of just go from there, learn together, grow together, and we kind of just keep each other accountable. So I know, Zohair, this is your first call. So with a little bit less people, it is a little bit different. And I know that Phemy is getting ready to hop on and kind of share some things that she's been learning this week. And then I know she got to get going to an event. So since it's a small class today, we'll just be short and snippy with it, and then we'll get back to our usual stuff. So Phemy's super excited to see you this week. And yeah, let's hear what you've been learning.
I haven't a lot. Life, personal, spiritual. It's been, but it's been good though. I have been fasting for the first month of the I fast every first month of every year for the last 9 years.
What does your fast
Um,
look like?
so I do a there you go, that's much better. I do a Daniel fast.
Mm.
So it's literally I only eat and consume things that were grown from the ground. So nothing else, so yeah, it's nothing but grains and natural protein and, no meat or anything like that. But because I also too on the health wise, because I've been, I have a specific workout regimen and whatnot, because I'm pretty consistent in the gym and everything like that. I do keep seafood for
Mm.
like my protein. So
Yeah.
I don't go backwards and like, lose any weight or anything like that. But other than that, which is mostly like probably like shrimp or salmon, and that's about it. But other than that, it's just grain, veggies, and water and tea and natural juice.
Man.
Yeah, it's pretty dope, because most people can think that fasting is, like fasting like Instagram or, like fasting requires you giving up some type of food. And that intimate time of fasting you know, is sacrificing your flesh and letting your body and your flesh knows that you are in charge, you know what I
Mm.
mean? And your creator and what your purpose is more important than just, what you consume and everything like that. So it's been pretty dope. You have a lot more clarity when you're fasting. I definitely will say that much. But it also too has um made me more aware of I'm not as patient as I think I am in certain areas and in certain things, but it's just because there is a moment of like awareness. You have that time to be aware. Your thoughts are not as, shifting and going through everything because you guys, we live in a busy time and age where we're running after everything, we're going after the goal, we want things done, and it's great. You know what I mean? Like me and Grace, we're all for the hustle because we definitely do that, but there is a time where you do need to slow down and be aware of your blind spots. But
Mm.
how can you be aware of your blind spots when, you're on a consistent go and there isn't anything that you're sacrificing to be aware? You know how they say, oh, when you lose one sense, other sensing hypens. It's the same thing when you're fasting. Your intuition and the spiritual side of you heightens and you
Mm.
see and you hear a lot more. But that's kind of something that I that's my journey with that I've been going through. It's been pretty dope. It's been pretty dope and I love it. Um, but just wanted to share that. But
That
I
is
hope
cool.
everybody's having a great Saturday. You're having a great Saturday so far.
So far, so good. I literally had eye doctor appointment this morning, and then I've got like other fitness appointment today to get like all the data for like body scan and all this stuff so that I can have all the data, the metrics, and really like have a solid plan. Because like we always say, like having a plan and having the literal, I know where I want to go. The
Yeah.
rest of it will follow. But if we never go collect the data, we never have the starting metrics to even get somewhere. And so I'm excited to go do that.
Yeah.
And then I got some new contacts so I can freaking see better. And
Yay.
like we always say, like vision, uh, you can have sight but no vision. And the people
Hmm.
that hold the vision are the ones that do exponentially better than the ones that can just see what's in front of them. And it's always one of my favorite things to be like reminded of is people that have vision. You can acquire vision. You can learn to have a bigger vision for yourself if you hang out with people that have a bigger vision than you currently do. If you hang out with people that can only see what's right in front of them, can only see the
Hmm.
problems and the circumstances that are right in front of them,
Hmm.
your perspective is very limited. And
Yeah,
so every time I go to the freaking eye doctor, I know it's not that deep, but like it is in a
it
sense.
is.
It's like
It
because
is.
having sight with no vision is a very in my life, it was a very low point. Being
Mm.
able to see what's around me, but not being able to be pulled towards a bigger vision.
Hmm.
That was probably one of the lowest points of my life. So getting around people, being around individuals that pull you into their vision as well as allow you to dream bigger, hear bigger concepts. I know for myself, I had a friend this week that spent like 31 grand on an event, and I just seen how much one event cost to
Wow.
make happen. I was like, oh, there's different levels. And like for him to just write a $31,000 check, like it's nothing. It's like, okay, there's different levels. Like I can't write a $31,000 check today, but I can write a bigger check than I used to be able to write. And so like
Yeah, that's
we
good.
get bigger vision with the people that we hang out with, and we get to see those things in real life. And that's why I love Separation Saturday. That's why I love online business. That's why I love being around individuals that stretch me, but also being able to help others stretch themselves. Because if you've never seen it, you will never, you literally can't do anything different because you don't have different information.
Mm.
And so
So good.
until you see it with your eyes and you get exposed to a different way of doing something or a different level of purchases, a different level of income, a different level of something tangible as far as like a resource, then your mind stays here. But if our minds get expanded, it's like a rubber band, it can't go back. And you just figure out how to get to that next level. And so I'm super excited. I love this week was a solid week. One of my things was pre-planning my Sunday to have my week very scheduled, very dialed in. And for, I would say 85% of the things on my calendar got done at the time that they said that I had pre-planned.
Love
And
it.
creating the environment to be able to do that. Like this coffee shop was on my schedule last week. And I was like, because I knew where I was going to be, I knew what I had to do, I knew where, like the timing of everything.
Yeah.
And so it's like knowing our vision, even just for a week ahead, is a big deal because it allows you to go through your week and not have those, what am I doing next? Kind of thoughts that cloud our vision or cloud our judgment.
Yeah.
And it keeps you from wandering or it keeps you from drifting if you guys have read the book. Um,
So good.
which one was that? Why am I blanking on it?
Outwitting.
Outwitting
Out-
the Devil. Yeah. If you guys have never heard of the book Outwitting the Devil, you can get the audio on YouTube. He talks about drifting. He talks about people just aimlessly walking through life, and they just drift. They just go with the flow, or they don't know the plan. And I've personally been that, and I can tell
Mm.
you the opposite is so much more efficient, better, enjoyable. Magic actually happens when you have a plan. It never happens when you're drifting.
Mm.
And so
Bar.
definitely recommend that. that book. But yeah, this is a little bit catch up of this week. Excited to learn a little bit more here, and then just keep rocking it with our week.
I love it. That's fire. Um, that's beautiful. Because I think people think that the getting getting more information or knowing new things is just gonna happen by them doing the same thing. Like that is so good. Like we need to plan, but also too, we need to understand that we have to get around new people, new environments, new thing, new information, like expand our minds because you're gonna just stick to what you know and you're gonna think what you know is the end all be all. And I love having conversation with people when like they don't know something and I'm like, you didn't know that? And they'll be like, no. And I'm like, phenomenal.
You're
Like,
like, yes, we just got a new level of awareness.
you know what I mean? Like, and it's so funny because you're like, oh, it's not that deep, but it's like life is deep. It is that deep. Like, we keep things so like, oh, it's just this. Oh, it's just that. No, like,
That's
we
true.
tend to not appreciate all the things we have for free. Our minds, our intellect, our higher faculties, the ability to understand, grow, learn. Like that, you didn't have to pay for any of that. You didn't have to write a $31,000 check to have your awareness, to have your ears, to be listening to this call. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and yet those are the things where we're like, yeah, it's just this. No, it's not just that. There are people that don't have the ability you have right now to even be able to listen,
Mhm.
to even be able to have people around them that's encouraging them, that's stretching them, that's telling them, hey, like you can do way better than that. Like it's a rarity. Like, as simple as the things that we're talking about that Grace has mentioned, there needs to be a deeper gratitude towards that. And gratitude is a source where all good things come from. So whatever it is that you are planning, all the things that you do want to do, it's gonna come from your gratitude because you'll never receive more of what you have and where you're at if you don't appreciate and know how to manage and how to grow what you have. It's not gonna happen, but I love our talks. What I did want to like kind of just go over and we can, just have a dialogue,
Mhm.
feel free to intervene. And because I couldn't pick between these two trainings because they're so valuable. The importance of your willpower
Mhm.
and also to like being a lone wolf. And it's funny because I think I'm probably just gonna dabble in both because you do need your own willpower. You need to exercise your willpower to even make a decision to be a lone wolf. And let me break down what a lone wolf is. This is not going against community because we're all about community. That's why we do this call. You can take a break on your business, on everything else, but you can never take a break on your mind because if you're not expanding your mind, the cliche, if you're not growing, you're dying. It's a real thing. But a lone wolf is an individual who chooses their own path no matter what. No matter what. This is the path that I'm going. It doesn't matter if my parents didn't do it, if my family didn't do it, if anyone didn't prepare me for it. Like, no matter the circumstance or what your life may have been or what you were given, you're choosing this path. That's what a lone wolf is. A lone wolf is not someone that is in isolation and all of that. If you did not know, as a human being, you were never meant to do this life alone. It was never meant, you know what I mean? Like to be a thing ever. You need community. If you didn't need community, you would be the only person on earth. But you're not because you do need community. And also to the things that Grace said, you have to be exposed to certain things to realize that, oh, there's actually more that I can do. There's actually more that I can add to my situation to make it better, to be better. Um, but you just have to have the awareness. So being a lone wolf within, obviously still using your community, it's more so of a mindset of a decision. Because you're going to have a lot of things persuading you and pushing you around. And I don't know if you've ever heard it, but if you buy someone's opinion, you buy their lifestyle. And a lot of us, unfortunately, have some sort of people pleasing we've been through. And being a lone wolf and understanding that you have a certain individual, you understand the first basic. You don't listen to everybody. There is, you take things with a certain grain of salt, right? But also to being a lone wolf and being that person that chooses a path and you're not afraid of what people will think. You're not afraid of what they will say. You don't have a fear of rejection. If anything, you understand that rejection is redirection. You know, if your friends or family, people that are close to you, don't understand the path that you've chosen, you understand that's okay. The reason, and there are three reasons why people don't want to be a lone wolf or even understand that concept or have that mindset. And it's because of what I just said, people pleasing. They're afraid of what people will think. Because when you're accustomed to a certain life, a certain set of friends, a certain group of people, you're used to what you're doing, your job, whatever the case is. Being a lone wolf is going to interject that. This is going to interrupt everything because you can no longer care. You can no longer care about what people think because you have to move as if it's up to you. You know, obviously God is guiding your steps, but you still have to do your work. You know what I mean? You still have to go through the things you have to go through because, you know, if your faith isn't tested, it can't be trusted. And, you know, I mentioned that earlier, you won't have more if you can't even handle what you have now. And the second reason why a lot of people don't want to have this mentality of being a lone wolf is because it takes a lot of work. It's going to take the deep work. It's going to take the aspect of looking at yourself in the mirror, being honest with yourself, being real with yourself, having moments in time where it's like, dang, I'm not doing this and I do need to do better. Like I am slacking on this, like, you know, really looking at yourself and evaluating. People don't want to do that. That's why some people they rather just cut people off than hear what they have to say. Because in order for me to receive what you're telling me, I'm going to have to be honest with myself. I'm going to have to take the self accountability in order to receive the information you're giving me. So being a lone wolf is it's literally deep spiritual and mental work, right? But if you really look at all the successful people in any category, anyone you look up to or whatever it is that you do, they had to be a lone wolf. They had to understand that I'm choosing this path no matter who comes or who goes. And they stuck to it, right? So after it being a lot of work, which is the second reason why people don't want to have this mentality or even do this, the third thing is it takes too much responsibility. You're even taking up responsibility for things around you that weren't even your fault. And I know that sounds wild, but if you are a leader of any sort, if you have siblings, if you have kids, or if you know, run a business or you've been a manager or you're in a setting of people or groups or whatever the case is, you're going to understand that there are things that you're just going to take responsibility for and you're just going to charge it to the game. But okay, I take responsibility for it.
I love that phrase, charge it to the game. It's such a good conscious reframe of whatever goes wrong, charge it to the game. It's part of it.
Yeah. 100%. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna adapt the victim mentality. You're gonna go into so last call we went over the four agreements. And one of the things where, you know, taking things personally, having assumptions, that's what happens when you don't take responsibility and charge things to the game. Oh, you know, it was this person. Well, if they just did their part and if they never thought and if they thought that's too much. That's too much energy. And I hope you know that whatever you put your energy on, that's where your focus goes as well. So with that, you have to take responsibility for stuff that's not even your fault at times because what it does, it just keeps things going. And you end up obeying the law of non-resistance, of just letting everything be as is. Because if you do understand this on the level that you're meant to, you'll know that everything works in your favor. Even when it's not working, even when you do have to take the responsibility for something that has nothing to do with you and your actions, it still works in your favor. right? Because it was supposed to be that way, because you're supposed to get whatever it is that you were supposed to get from it. But also, too, you moving that way is also two lessons for other people. Like, dang, did she just take that to the chest? Like, she just took that responsibility? That's it. Like, that helps people think, like, dang, like, maybe I need to start taking responsibility and accountability, right? But it's not, again, people don't want to do this because of everything. Being afraid of other people's opinion, it being too much work and too much responsibility, right? And how does this tie into your willpower? Well, your willpower is the strength of your mind and your determination, right? And okay, I'm gonna save this too. You out here dropping gems.
It was the exact title of what you just said. So we've been listening to this, and one of my masterminds is act as if everything's already working out for you. And I'm on like day 27 of every day listening to this audio first thing in the morning. And I can tell you, our group that's doing it, some have already surpassed the amount of money that they were trying to go for. Some have gotten random gifts. I've gotten offered. Like, it's wild when you live in a state of act as if it already is working out for you.
Bro, exactly. Act as if with the end of mind. And that's why too, understanding that, you won't have a problem being a lone wolf. You won't have a problem understanding I'm choosing this path and I'm keeping it no matter who comes and goes, right? And so with the willpower, right? Your willpower is the strength of your will, your mind, and your determination. And you have to have a strong will to be a lone wolf. Because, and again, this is not to be in isolation. This is not saying to not have, community, but you should have a productive, consistent time alone where you're being real with yourself, you're self-evaluating, and then you're putting down the actions that you have to take. You're seeing the things where, okay, I need to adjust this, I need to pivot this, I need to do this, and then taking that action. Because a lot of times, like we were talking in the beginning when I was, just giving you guys a brief overview of like how my fast has been, it's just like you won't hear and see a lot of things about you when you have too many voices around you. You have too many inputs. It's not going to help you. And then you're going to be taking action on someone else's thoughts. And then when you get the results you get, you're going to be confused on why you are where you are. Well, you didn't take time to create your own thoughts to take action from. You didn't take your time to receive the information that you needed and overview it and make that decision for you, right? So with your willpower, it's something that you have to strengthen because your willpower is what makes you like take decisions, make decisions. Okay, like there is decisions and power. Like the more decisions that you're able to take, the smoother that things happen for you in life. No cap. Because you're okay with doing things that are uncomfortable. You're okay with just taking that action. It's kind of a commit first, figure it out later type thing. It really is with your with with making decisions, but it's the strength, it's the strength to carry out one's decision. It's the strength to carry out your dream. You're with like whatever it is that you want, you're like, okay, you have a strong willpower to do it. A lot of us don't have a strong willpower. And that's why sometimes we don't get the things done. We have a desire for it, but to have a strong willpower, you're going to need it for this journey. You're going to need it for this journey, and you're going to need it to be alone with, to understand that, okay, I'm sticking to the decisions that I'm making, I'm sticking to this path, and I'm only going to stay around quality people that will benefit and help my lone wolf journey, that will help and encourage, the decisions that I'm making, the path that I'm on. Um, because again, you being a lone wolf is also to, like Grace said earlier, like learning from people that have more and that do more, right? A lot of people claim that, oh, it's lonely at the top. It really isn't. It really isn't. It's actually fun because when you're with other lone wolves, there's a level of respect and encouragement for what you have going on. There's a higher sense of self accountability and group accountability. Like Grace and I could just be like, hey, this I'm doing this project. I need you to hold me accountable for X, Y, and Z. If you don't see me doing X, Y, and Z, call me out. And it's okay. Like that's a normal thing. There is no anything personal. There is no, oh, like, like why are you putting me out? No, we understand that in order for each of us to continue this lone wolf journey and pick this route, this path that we're in to do it, we're going to need that. So you're only around quality people that will make this journey easier. They'll make it easier. Yes, they'll challenge you. Yes, you'll be uncomfortable, but you already have the willpower and you already understand, like, this is what I need to do. So you're not taking any of it personally. You're looking forward to it. At one point in time, you're going to start being so grateful that you have other people that are running like you. There's not really much that needs to be said. It's smooth. It's just happening. And I always say wealth is a team sport. You won't get wealthy alone, bro. You won't get rich alone. Like, it's just not a thing. It could probably happen, but it'll probably take way longer, decades, before you even reach the goal that you're talking about. Because there's no sense of responsibility and accountability and team accountability. And also too, you don't have that inspiration from others, and honestly, help your willpower increases and is exercised when you're around other people that have strong willpower. Like when you see other people with strong willpower, like they carry out the decision, they make the plan, they do it, and you watch it and you're around that, it's actually, they did a study, it's actually proven that even just being within 25 feet of someone that has strong willpower, someone that is a high performer, someone that get things done, your chances of doing anything increases. And that's just being within 25 feet of them.
Just from being around them. Yeah.
That's it. That's not even having a conversation, having a meeting, exchanging words, nothing. Just being in the room. Like, because there's power, you guys, there's power in energy. There's power when two or three or more is gathered. It's a biblical principle, but it's also to a real life principle. It's a wealth principle. You cannot do this alone. But the only thing that you have to go through alone is the wolf journey, the mentality. You have to not care about people's opinion. You have to put in the work and you have to take responsibility for whatever comes, whether it's yours or not. Take the responsibility, take the role that you played in it, and then pivot. Use the willpower and pivot. So one last thing for willpower. It kind of ties into what Grace was already saying. I wrote it right here. Focus on the action to the now and not too much on the fruit. Focus on right now. Okay, what do you have to do today? Like one foot in front of the other. Like, yes, we are supposed to visualize. Yes, you're supposed to keep the end in mind and see the end, the bigger picture. I hope you're visualizing every day and imagining the life that you're supposed to have. Because if you're not using your imagination, your higher faculty, excuse me, your higher faculty, which God gave you to create, that's a whole another training in itself. But please make sure you're doing that. You should have at least 10 minutes a day where you're closing your eyes and you see yourself doing everything you've ever imagined. The clothes, how you smell, who are you working with, where are you traveling, what car do you drive, do you have a driver, like who are you? You should be doing that 10 minutes a day, minimum. Okay, but focus on the action of the now and not the fruit so much, because sometimes we get discouraged when we think about our dreams. I know I'm a big dreamer. I'm a big dreamer. I see everything. I'm like, wow, like we wouldn't be doing this. We're going to be here. We're going to be having this. But in order to have that, what are the action steps? What are the things you have to do now? What are the smaller goals that tie into the bigger thing? So you have to focus on the now. Yes, move with the end in mind, already speak and move like, you know, like who you want to be. Like, I don't know about everybody on here, but I know that I'm always speaking and moving as the 6, 7 figure version of me, right? Because that's where I want to be. And it's not necessarily the amount of money that matters, it's the person that I have to become to be vibrating at that frequency to even have that type of money. Like, like I don't know if you guys were listening to Grace, but like to be next to someone that's just like 31,000, here you go. Excuse me? I want that life. Out
for
easy.
for an 8-hour thing. Like
8 hours, not even a lifetime thing. But you know what that is? Him being a lone wolf and him having a willpower, strong willpower. I need this information. This information is gonna catapult me. Here's $31,000. I'm cool with that. That requires you to be at a certain frequency, a certain mindset. The money comes clearly, because he could just sign it away. Some of us would be like holding the check, like, wait, uh, maybe. Because there's a resistance, there's a mindset of lack because you think you won't have, or whatever the case may be, right? But it's really important, you guys, that you focus on the now, the steps now for the bigger vision, and that you're okay with being a lone wolf. Not everyone will support your journey. Like strangers turn to family, literally. Like, I didn't know Grace from a can of paint, and now she's one of my best friends. Like, it and that's the thing, but I was okay with being a lone wolf and until the people came. Until the people came, until all this stuff came, but I stayed the course. My family thought I was crazy. You're traveling the world, you're always on your computer. You're like, what? Where's the money? Like, what are you doing? Because they don't have the vision. They had sight. I had the vision. And guess what? I continued and I stayed the course, and then God blessed me with the community, with the people that is encouraging my lone wolf journey, that is helping me strengthen my willpower. So, yeah, you guys, that's all I have for today. And some of the things that I've been, I've already learned this, but I've been seeing it in another way because of this fast, and also too at the level that I am now, because it's real. Like, it's so real, and your willpower and your higher faculties are so important.
we
Mhm.
talk about two phenomenal topics, the lone wolf mentality. And if you have to go, feel free to hop off and I'll wrap it up. But um
Yeah.
one of the things that you mentioned was don't care about others' opinions. And as you were saying that, I was like, I do care about opinions. I care about my opinion, and I care about the opinion of the people that I want to be like. And so there's the nuance of like, if I, like you said, if we buy people's opinions, we buy their lifestyle. And if you have found somebody that you're like, I want what you have, whether it's the relationships, the business, the mindset, I want what you have, I will wholeheartedly buy their opinion over what my brain is telling me. Because 90% of the time,
Yes.
not even 90% of the time, I think Bob Proctor told it to Alex. He was like, basically, he was like, until you find out I'm lying or not telling the truth or it doesn't work, like believe me wholeheartedly, because the thoughts that you have are not producing the fruit that you want. Therefore, buy my opinion on these thoughts. And I was like, that was always such an interesting thing. So I'm like, if you found those people that you like the personality, you like the way that they go about doing it, not just what they have, but the character of the person that they are, that also has the things that you want to acquire, buy their opinion at face value. And I know that's a hard concept to believe because you've been told like they'll believe like everything everybody says. But if they're the one person that is like that, then maybe it's worth doing that. And I have a few of those people. And so even if I don't agree or it doesn't make sense in the moment, if I just believe what they say, it has literally for 5 years worked out. And so I have the evidence now to believe like I can buy somebody's opinion that I actually truly believe that they have my best interest at heart. And so that was a phenomenal like just awareness. Uh, and then one of the things, the fact that you mentioned like staying the course until the people come. Uh, I've experienced this multiple times, and it's the lonely chapter. And I don't know if anybody is going through the lonely chapter right now. Odds are you probably are. And I thought you would only have to go through it once. And the lonely chapter is defined by when you are moving from one sphere of influence to the next sphere of influence at a different level. There's that gap, and it's the lonely chapter. You don't want to be associated, you don't really fit in with the group anymore, but you also haven't gained the skill sets to be in the group that you do want to be in. And so there's this time period where you are alone, and you have to start back at basically not square one because you have the skills from previous, but you have to go find new friends. You have to go meet new people. You have to get in the circle again. And you have to take those opportunities. And I remember when I was going through my first lonely chapter, I was like, oh my God, there's like literally nobody I want to be around. Like these people aren't doing anything for their future. My friends are like, hey, let's go to the bar. And I'm like, I don't want to go to the bar. And for long, I would say over a year. So it was about 16 months of really just being alone, not alone in the sense that I'm sad or angry or whatever, but like alone in the sense that I didn't have a community that was like-minded going towards the same direction. I was perfectly fine by myself, but I needed that community. And then I found online education, I found digital entrepreneurship, and I found people that were as hungry as me and wanted to really only talk about what are we doing next? How are we getting there faster? How can we help our mindset grow? And then I've also experienced it like 5 years later, and I was like, oh my God, this is happening again. And so if you guys are going through that experience, just know it's normal, it's expected, and that actually is the sign that you're on. And if you can handle the first lonely chapter the same way that you're going to be more equipped to handle the next one and the next one, because our goal is to become the best version of ourselves. And so we're going to go through these things. I didn't realize that it was going to be more than once, but apparently it is. And if you ask more, if I asked other individuals, they have the same experience. They have multiple lonely chapters. So stay the course until the people come. And that's your season to go dive in, work hard on yourself, on your own internal opinions, on your conversation with yourself. It's a really big time, and don't waste it. It's a blessing in disguise, even though it probably isn't what you wanted at the time. It's a blessing. But I definitely want, if you guys want to unmute or type in the chat, I know you guys might be at work or doing something. So if you guys want to unmute, feel free, leave it open for a little bit, and then we will wrap it up and we'll see you guys next week. And it's all good if you guys can, so no worries. But make sure to go and download that YouTube video. I dropped the link in the chat a little bit earlier. And if you're down for it, if I'm not you, but if I were you, I would commit to watching that video once a day for 30 days and see what happens. And then bring that back to the group because I want to hear it. Like, for instance, I'm in a group, and one of the things that Phemy mentioned was like becoming the person that you want to be before you are. So one of my friends does suits. And I was like, you know what? How much does his like custom made suits cost for like these business people who's making suits for him? So I asked him, and I asked him indirectly because I was like, my brother wanted suits, but I really just wanted the information for myself. And I was like, you do women's suits as well, right? And he's like, yeah, the same price as the men's suits. So it's like $750 for a three-piece suit, custom made, whatever, like starting at. And so I was like, I needed to get that information so that I can be like, I'm the type of person that can just buy a $750 suit and need a suit to wear for an event or something of that nature. But I challenge you guys to like ask the price of things that are in your future. They don't have to be so vastly far out or like anything that of that nature, but like go test them out. Go sit in the car you want. Go ask for how much the clothes that you want. Go figure out the dollar number. So you have to figure out who you have to be in the process to acquire those things. And so that was a very like small thing that I did this week. And I was like, it's pretty cool. I thought they were going to be a lot more expensive. So to find that out, I'm like, okay. Um,
Hi, Grace. Hi, everyone.
hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Amazing. Where are you from?
So I live in Bronx, New York.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah, thank you. So I think one thing I take away from this is that information, they can, when you have access to information, it can help you to become a better version of yourself and to achieve your goals.
Mhm.
Because growing up, I have two parents. My mother, she's illiterate, and my father, he has a third grade education.
Mhm.
So growing up, my parents, they always taught me to save money. And
Mhm.
when I was 16, I asked my brother, who's so smart because he went to college, he has his master degree.
Wow.
So I asked him, I was like, Omar, how do someone become wealthy? And he gave me the same answer that my parents gave me, which was to save.
Wow.
But as I grew up and I start to socialize with different people that are not my parents and that are not my brother and that are not in my family, I learned that in order to be wealthy, you got to invest.
Mhm.
So because when you save money, the bank, they give you like 0.01% interest rate, while they take your money and invest in insurance, invest in the stock market, invest in real estate, and they leave you broke while they get rich. So I do agree that when you have access to information that doesn't come from from certain people, but it
Mhm.
comes from people who you want to be like, it's going to help you to grow. It's going to help you to achieve your dreams
That's so
and
good.
become that version of yourself that you dream of. So that's one thing that I'm going to take away from this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love it. And it's so real. It's like, and my favorite thing is like people do the best that they can with the information that they have at the time. And if they've never been taught a different way, it's like, I can't get mad at them. I can't even be sad about it. They literally don't know. And it's like, if you get presented with something different that challenges maybe your idea or your thoughts, but then you're like, hold on, let me check and like, what does their life look like? Are they able to do these things? Like, and we just start like observing instead of like the internal judgment of ourselves. Like it opens up this whole new world of like, oh, I just have to do these actions to get the same thing that they had. And then they're going to tell me the actions that they took in order to get the thing. And it doesn't matter about like who you are, like what you like, anything bad that you like. It doesn't matter about the insights. It's literally like what actions did they do? Am I willing to do those actions? And am I willing to change the little mindset that I have and open my perspective? So I love that, like, that you're learning that, because like it's the best thing ever. And interest, like investing, compound interest is the seventh wonder of the world. Like, why would we not want to be on the right side of the compound interest? And it's a beautiful process to go through, and it's worthwhile. Like, I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. Like, if we're not trying to figure out how to make more, do more, have more, be more, like, what are we doing? I can't help as many people as I want to help if I don't have the money to be able to do it. And I know that good people with good money do good things. And so I'm always excited to be around people that want to do more, have more, be more, do epic things for epic people. And so super grateful for you, Latoya. And Raekwon, I know you're probably at work, but you kind of, but yeah, thanks for hopping on. I'm glad you're on these calls.
I'm here. Yes.
What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm doing a lot better.
Yeah,
Getting better every day.
amazing.
Yeah. This was a very powerful call.
Good. I'm glad you got to hop on. I know work sometimes is there, but I'm super proud of and impressed by you that you always still hop on. You make it a priority for yourself. Because I remember doing the exact same thing, and trust me, it's worth it.
I come on this video just so I know that I don't want to be here.
Yep.
So if I keep watching this, I won't be here. Especially because they're trying to put me as a manager, and I don't.
It matters, and you're doing the best that you can with the things that you have. It really does matter. The energy in which you do your job now translates into the energy in which you do your other stuff. So whatever you get to do at work, do it to the best of your ability, outshine every single person there. And I promise you'll just work yourself out of a job because you're too good to be there.
Yeah, that's what's been going on lately. That's what's been going on.
That's good. Good to hear it, bro. Sweet. Well, we will wrap it up a little bit early today, and we will see you guys next week for another Separation Saturday. Hope you guys have a great week. And who's down to commit to making that audio a priority? If you are, if you aren't, I don't really care. I would do it if I were you, but
You sent it to Instagram. I didn't get the link.
let me send it again. Let me know if you got it's in the chat.
Okay, I got it. Copied it.
Perfect.
I'll be committed to it.
Sweet. 30 days starting today.
Starting today.
Yeah, it won't take you long to listen to it.
Okay.
Sweet. I'm excited for you, man. And we will see you guys next week. Bye,
All right.
guys.
See ya.